Hi, I'm Corey. I'm here at the Vox Amps booth, Winter NAMM 2017 for Long and McQuade. What I want to show you right now is the MV50 amplifier from Vox. The MV50 is a 50-watt amp head that is built around Korg's NewTube technology. Now what NewTube is not some gimmick. It's actually a display tube, a triode vacuum tube. It's used for displays. It's been repurposed for audio. We're using that as a foundation of the MV50. The NewTube is a product you're going to see in Vox amps and Vox products going forth. And we're excited that the MV50 is the first place that we can use it, and the size shows you part of the value of the NewTube. What we have here is a low heat and low power consumption vacuum tube that allows us to put 50 watts into a box that weighs 1.1 pounds. Now I'm holding the clean version, but we also have a rock version and an AC version, which is our AC30. Now, each one of these little MV50 amps has 3 knobs. The clean one has treble, bass, and output volume. The other 2 have gain, tone, and output volume. Now the gain tells you that they're going to break up a little bit, and they can be the foundation of your rig or a supplement to your existing rig. And that's the MV50. If we flip it around, there's a couple things that are pretty significant here. The first one is a flat and a deep. Now we know that whenever we're holding a tiny amp like this, people are going to think it sounds small. So if we have a switch that emphasizes a low end, it makes the whole rig sound bigger. The second thing I want to point out is the phones or line out. That allows for silent practice or going direct into an audio interface. There's a brand new cab sim that's built into the MV50 amplifiers that sounds really, really great. So if you want to forego your favorite speaker cab or one of the matching BC108 or BC112 cabs that we've built for these, you can actually run silent and still have the great sound of a mic speaker cabinet. Now again, that's the MV50, 3 different flavors, rock, AC, and clean. Now what I've got set up here at the show is my guitar going into a pedal board, then into an amp switcher that allows me to just choose the clean, the AC, or the rock. And what that's showing people is that these can work into your current rig. It's as much an amplifier as the amplifier you love, want, or are trying to replace or supplement. That's the MV50. So right now I've got all the effects turned off, and the first thing I want to show you is the clean one. Now the clean is meant to have high headroom. At 50 watts, it's meant to be clean all the way up. Here's what that sounds like. Now, some of the viewers might say, well, that's not a pristine clean. Well, no, we wanted a fat clean that actually sounds kind of like classic, big, hairy clean amps from the 60s and 50s. If we move over to the rock, that is going to be a classic UK high gain amp that, look, it wants to feed back. So you're getting that kind of meat and potatoes out of something that weighs 1 pound and is coming out of a single 8-inch speaker. Now I'll tell you about those in just a second. Moving on to the third amp, what we're going to get is the AC, and the AC is obviously the sound of Vox's AC30. AC30 is a staple in studios and on stages around the world. When you have the ability to turn it up and drive it and let it do what it wants to do, there's nothing like it. And AC30 is a staple on stages and in studios for a reason. What we can't always do is turn it up or carry it around because it's pretty big and cumbersome. Now what we have in 1.1 pounds is the sound of an AC30. Now that one is going through our single 12-inch cab. Now an AC30 is one of those amps that's really hard to actually duplicate. It has this beautiful mid-range crunch and chime that seems to fit in and mix perfectly, and somehow even with a little bit of hair on top, it still takes pedals really well. They found a way to put that in the MV50 AC version as well. Now I told you I'd tell you about the cabs after we got through the amps. What I have here is a BC108, and the BC108 is a single 8-inch speaker in a small cube cab with a semi-open back construction. Now everything about the design of the cab itself And the custom voicing of the speaker is meant to emphasize the low end and make a single 8-inch cab sound way bigger than a single 8-inch cab, right? If we move on top of that, what we get is the BC112, and the BC112 is also a custom voice cabinet made specifically to work in conjunction with the MV50 amp lines. Now that has a Celestion V-Type in there. The Celestion V-Type is a great sounding Celestion speaker with kind of a mid-forward sound. So what that does is it gives us the sound that Vox is known for, all the chime and crunch that fits in a mix really perfectly without having to shave off too much top end or too much low end whenever you're trying to fit into a band mix. So this is for people who really want to have a bigger sound and a bigger cab, but the 108 sounds surprisingly big for being so diminutive. Now, that's the MV50 in 3 flavors. You got 2 flavors of cabs, the single 8-inch, a single 12-inch. Each one of these is made to be daisy chained together to increase the output power of the amp. So with a single 16 ohm load, they're actually running at 12.5 watts, but they still sound full, and you could play them in a small club gig if you wanted to. If I daisy chain 2 of these together, now it's at 8 ohms, it pushes the MV50 up to 25 watts, which has more breadth and a bigger sonic footprint. You can also run the MV50 into your favorite 412 cab with a 4 ohm load, and it'll be so powerful that it'll make your eyeballs bleed in a really, really good way, like the kind you want. So that's the MV50, BC108, BC112, new from Vox 2017. For more information, go to Long and McQuade online or go to voxamps.com. This is Corey, that's Vox, this is NAMM 2017.